How are they about Trinity? Who can take tonight at the Waba? See how they cohested. I was in a room.
Man, did you just come off that bus?
Yes. 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 This side, okay. Oh, nice one. Wait, I'm going. Maybe I told you there. I bet you take it, Adwa. I do take it too. Yeah.
Perfect. So I can't scan this, so I'm going to give you your receipt for the bus later. That's all you need. Yep, right there. All right?
Yeah. I'm charge your heart. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Now we ain't for you in the no lie.
118.
Do you have it?
He's going to text me.
Oh, okay. 118.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. America be there. What you say? I'm going to go.
Stairs in the back. You want to go up?
Oh, thank you.
Go right through the back door. Straight through the back door, guys.
Back door. It's your. Send him what you say. Back door. Oh, nice one. Good day. Very powerful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, you people are so rude. I mean, over 100 people on this boat. I say good afternoon to over 100 people, and I can count on one hand the number of you that said good afternoon back to me. I will not accept that. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that I've learned in my life, if I fail, I could always try again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
And what a beautiful afternoon it is, correct? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? My name is Michael, and I was born here on the island of Manhattan 62 years ago, and I've been giving this tour now for 37 years, and I welcome you to our city. I said 37 years. Thank you so much to the 6 people that clapped. Guess what? Raise your hand if you're listening to the tour. Raise your hand if you're listening to the tour. Look around you. Every single person is sitting next to someone who is listening to the tour. So please keep your voices down and do not ruin the experience for others. If you lose interest in the tour, that's okay. But don't interrupt the experience for others, and please keep your voices down. Guess what? I'm gonna say that a lot, get used to it. Let's start the tour. Please look to the right side of the boat. Here on the right side of the boat is the state of New Jersey. I have absolutely nothing to tell you about New Jersey, so let's look back to the left. So here's what's gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go down the Hudson River, then we're gonna cross the New York City Harbor. After we cross the harbor, we're gonna go up the East River, then we're gonna come back down the East River and head over to the Statue of Liberty. Guess what? I'm gonna say that a lot. This is an interactive tour. Guess what? Did you guys know that the Titanic was headed here to Chelsea Piers on the left side of the boat? If the Titanic did not sink in the Atlantic Ocean in 1912 on the eve of April 14th, they would have ended their voyage here. These yachts that you see here, these are all sunset and moonlight dinner yachts. There's a yacht for every budget. Chelsea Piers is New York City's sports complex. If you look on the other side of Chelsea Piers, you'll see a white building that looks like a giant block of ice. That building is called the Iceberg Building. The Iceberg Building is a memorial to the Titanic. I have a question. How long have I been speaking to you guys now? 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 8 minutes? Scream out a thought. Okay, I heard 7, 8, I heard someone say 2. Well, it really doesn't matter because you've all known me long enough to know, what am I about to say? What am I about to say? I really want to hear you. That's exactly what I'm about to say. Guess what? If I was only in New York City for a few days like most of you are, and if I had to choose between Central Park, which is a historical landmark park, we call Central Park because it sits in the center of the island. But if I was just here for a couple of days, if I had to choose between Central Park and this little park here on the left side of the boat, guess what? I would definitely choose this park. Why would I choose this park? Because there's no other park like it in all the world. This park is called the Little Island. The Little Island is a public space, so therefore it is absolutely free to go onto the Little Island. Guess what? The Little Island is an interactive park. Lots to do, see, touch, and experience when on the Little Island. It's a must visit. Are you listening? I really need you to listen now. Are you listening? If you're having your meals, if you're eating at restaurants in the Times Square area, if you're having your meals or eating at restaurants in the theater district, guess what? You are spending way too much money to eat in our city. The Times Square area, the theater district, is the most expensive place in all of New York to buy anything. 1.6 million people live here on the island of Manhattan. Not my super rich neighbors, not my super famous neighbors, not the average everyday guy like myself. We do not go to Times Square. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because the quality of service is down. You want to know why? The quality of food is not the best at all. You want to know why? But yet and still, it's the most expensive place in all of New York. Are you listening? When dining out in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, you must come downtown and go into our neighborhoods. And the one neighborhood where you should be having all of your meals, if not most of your meals, is right here on the left side of the boat. This neighborhood is called Greenwich Village. Guess what? Greenwich Village is the place to be when visiting New York City. You name a country, you'll find a restaurant that serves food from that country in Greenwich Village. Guess who? Guess who? Oprah Winfrey, Taylor Swift, George Clooney, Michael J. Fox, Sarah Jessica Parker, Whoopi Goldberg, Bette Midler, Mel Gibson, Brooke Shields, Macaulay Culkin, Whoopi Goldberg, and many others all have homes in Greenwich Village. Greenwich Village is also the home of jazz, comedy, hip-hop, salsa merengue, country, western, line dancing, jazz, blues, reggaeton. You can even catch an old-fashioned drag show in Greenwich Village. Are you listening? Yes. Greenwich Village is the place to be when visiting New York City. Look to the left side of the boat. This neighborhood is called SoHo. SoHo, south of Houston Street. S-O for South, H-O for Houston gives us SoHo. SoHo is the home of New York City's art galleries. More art galleries in SoHo than any other neighborhood. SoHo is a historical cobblestone street neighborhood. Guess what? SoHo is certainly another one of those neighborhoods where you should have a meal or two. SoHo's a great spot for breakfast in New York. Guess who? I said, guess who? The Chinese people. Guess where? Chinatown, now on the left side of the boat. Did you guys know that Chinatown is the oldest community in New York City? The African Americans, the Italians, the Irish, the Greeks, the Germans, the Hebrews, the Hindus, the Israelis, the Palestinians, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Irish, the Russians, the Ukrainians, the Yugoslavians have all relocated their communities many times throughout the history of New York. But the Chinese people have always remained right here since 1711, which makes Chinatown the oldest community in New York. Are you listening? Yes. Listen very carefully. Chinatown is the only place in the entire state of New York where you can buy. Are you listening? Chinatown is the only place in the entire state of New York where you can buy a Rolex watch for $25. Go to Chinatown. It's one of my favorite neighborhoods. 9/11. 9/11. 9/11. 9/11. Por favor. Thank you for joining me in a moment of silence for the 3,000 innocent people that died right here on the left side of the boat on a morning known to the world as 9/11. 3,000 people woke up that morning. They came into this area like they normally do. But on that particular morning, known as 9/11, they had no idea what was heading this way. When those terrorists took control of those two airplanes, they came above our island and hit the Twin Towers. Within 90 minutes, both those towers came falling down. Every single thing that you see here today on the left side of the boat was 100% covered in white ashes or had severe damage. It was the worst day in the history of our island. If you were here that morning, you could smell the bodies burning. I did. You can smell the bodies burning. Those 3,000 people looked just like us. They looked just like us, and they did nothing wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ground Zero. Guess who? Guess where? Guess when? Guess how? Guess why? Are we having fun? That's what it's all about. Let's look to the right side of the boat. You see that clock? That clock is the largest outdoor clock in America. It's called the Colgate clock. That clock sits where the Colgate factory once stood. When the Colgate family packed up their factory and moved it west, they left that 100-year-old clock behind. You want to know why? Because they knew. They knew that millions of tourists would look across the river and see the clock. They also knew that the exact second when you first see the clock, you would realize you forgot to brush your teeth this morning. And what a great set of teeth he has. Guess what? Look behind us. This is the Hudson River behind us. Once again, the Hudson River is the deepest river in the USA. This river is 205 feet deep. We're going to make a left turn here. We're on the west side of the island. We're going to make a left turn here, go around the harbor, and then we're going to go up the East River on the other side of the island. Then we're going to come back down the East River and head over to the Statue of Liberty. Guess what? Did you guys know that the island of Manhattan is a very small island? Did I tell you already that? The island is only 2.5 miles wide. That would be 14th Street. 14th Street is the widest point of the island, 2.5 miles. The island is also only 13.5 miles long. That would be Broadway. Broadway goes the entire length of the island. And then there is Fifth Avenue. Each and every one of you, while in city, you will either cross Fifth Avenue or walk along Fifth Avenue. When you get to Fifth Avenue, remember this. Fifth Avenue is the border. Fifth Avenue is the border between the east side of the island and the west side of the island. We're now on the west side of the island. We're going to make a left turn here, go over to the other side of the island. Then we're going to come back down and head over to the Statue of Liberty on the right. Guess what? Look to the right side of the boat. You see that island with the building with the 4 points on top? That is the most historical island in all the world. Where you see the 4 points on top, that island is called Ellis Island. Millions and millions of immigrants came to this country by ship. When a ship would arrive to Ellis Island, the very first thing the immigrants would do is have a medical examination. If you passed the medical examination, you were welcomed into this country with open arms. But those immigrants that did not pass the medical examination, they could not remain in this country. They would send them to the left side of the island, and there is where they would wait to return to their country. But those immigrants that did pass the medical examination, they were sent into the building where you see the 4 points on top. There is where they would have their first meal in America. There is where they would become American citizens. And from Ellis Island, 12 million immigrants were free to go wherever they country. Ellis Island closed its doors in 1954 when the immigrant became an American citizen. Guess what? Guess what? If you go to Ellis Island, the very first thing you must do is sit in front of one of their computers and put your family's last name into the computer bank. And you may just discover, no matter where you come from, no matter what you look like, you too may discover that at some point in history, someone from your family tree also came to America through Ellis Island. How are you?
I'm good, yourself?
Good, what's your name?
Dante.
Dante? His name is Dante. Dante, where are you from?
South Africa.
You're from South Africa? You're not black.
I know, I'm back inside.
Everybody say hello to Dante! Who are you with?
My brother, his girlfriend, and my best friend.
There you guys go. Welcome to New York. Guys, look to the right side of the boat. This is Governor's Island. This is the longest running military base in the history of the USA. This was a military base for over 300 years. Today it's a public space. You see where the yellow, green, blue, and red banners are? You see all those people over there? Guess what? That's a taco stand. I swear to everything I love, the best taco I ever had in my life was right there at that little yellow shack. There's restaurants on Governor's Island where you see the yellow umbrellas where you can't see them now. There's an oyster bar, there's a cocktail lounge, there's a campsite where you can go camping, there's a children's park that holds the longest children's slide in America. Governor's Island is a historical island. It's a must visit. I want all the young people on the boat to please tell me and all the other old people, what in the world does OMG mean? I can't hear you. What does it mean? I really want to hear you. What does it mean? Oh my gosh. Guess what? You see that orange ship? That ship hosts 3,000 tourists. You see that orange ship? That ship is absolutely free to ride. It's called the Staten Island Ferry. The wide doors open, all 3,000 tourists rush in. Here's the tip. You want to ride the Staten Island Ferry at nighttime when it's dark outside. In New York City, it gets dark at 7:30 p.m. It runs every 30 minutes until midnight. You want to ride it when it's dark outside because everything that your eyes see today, you'll see it all lit up in lights, and I'm going to tell you this, it's guaranteed to be one of your favorite hours in New York. You'll see the statue in the day, and you'll see it glowing at night. Take the Staten Island Ferry. It's absolutely free. It leaves every 30 minutes from Battery Park. Where are you from? Welcome to you live in Harlem? Wow. Welcome to New York. Guess what? Everybody, quick, take your cameras out. Come on, quick. Captain, we're gonna do the church. Take your cameras out. Quick, take your cameras out. You wanna know why? Because Captain Thomas and myself, we're gonna guide your eyes and your cameras to one of the oldest churches in America. Guess what? You only gotta have 5 seconds to see it. Follow my instructions. Look to the left side of the boat. Come on, get out of my way. Come on, let's go, let's go. Everybody tell them to move. There we go. Look to the left side of the boat. You see those 2 ferry boats? Behind those 2 ferry boats, there's a wide open street. Zoom your camera into that street. You must zoom in. All the way at the end of that street, you're gonna see a church. When you see the church, just say, I see it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't see it yet. Keep looking. What are you supposed to say? Say, I see it. That church is called Trinity Church. Guess what? There's a cemetery that surrounds the church. That's where you'll find several signings of the Declaration of Independence are buried. That's also where you'll find the burial ground of Alexander Hamilton. Guess what? Did you get the picture? That street that you just looked across, that's the most famous street in all the world. That is Wall Street. Guess who? I said, guess who? Me. Guess where? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my neighborhood here on the left side of the boat. This is where I was born 62 years ago. This is where I grew up. And this is where my family remains. And this is a neighborhood you don't want to miss. You see where it says Pier 15? 21 and over only. Major tourist destination at night for food, music, dancing, and cocktails. That ship that you see there is called the Wavertree Liverpool. It's from Wavertree, Liverpool. It's an old antique fisherman ship that once brought seafood here into the harbor. We call my neighborhood the South Street Seaport because at one time, this is where all the seafood came into New York City. This green glass building that you see here, this is called Pier 17. Pier 17 is loaded with fine dining restaurants. The South Street Seaport is a historical cobblestone street neighborhood. It was one of the very first Dutch settlements was right here at the South Street Seaport. Guess what?
What?
Guess what?
What?
The South Street Seaport is loaded. I mean loaded with great, great restaurants on every corner, on every street. Guess what? Restaurants for every budget. It would be a huge mistake to skip the South Street Seaport. You want to know what another big mistake is that you can make when in New York? You want to know what the biggest mistake tourists make when they come to New York? Do you want to know?
I want to know.
The biggest mistake you can make is to skip Brooklyn. You cannot come to New York City and skip Brooklyn. Guess what? You guys will not make that mistake. You want to know why? Look to the right side of the boat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beautiful, historical Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn has the largest population of all 5 boroughs. 2.7 million people live in Brooklyn. 2.7 million people live in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Bridge was built in 1886 and is the very first bridge to connect Manhattan to Brooklyn. When the Brooklyn Bridge was built, it was the tallest structure in the Western Hemisphere. Everyone, take a really good look at Brooklyn now, because here is where you want to come to. You're looking at Dumbo, Brooklyn. This is a historical district. Loads of restaurants, local designer boutiques, art galleries, rooftop lounges. You see the welcome sign, the big welcome sign? Under that welcome sign, that restaurant is called Lounge 1. Under that welcome sign, you'll see a restaurant called Lounge 1. Guess what? That's where I'll be tonight at 9 p.m. They have jazz up there. I'll be there tonight. Lounge 1 is one of the best rooftop restaurants in New York City. Everyone, turn around and look behind us. You see the Brooklyn Bridge? That's the first bridge. The second bridge is the Manhattan Bridge. And then the third bridge is called the Williamsburg Bridge. We have a nickname for these 3 bridges. We call them the BMW bridges, like the car, BMW. B for Brooklyn Bridge, M for Manhattan Bridge, and W for Williamsburg Bridge. Whee! Whee! You're not supposed to say ooh, you're supposed to say wee. There you go. Guess what?
What?
I think I'm gonna shut up
Yeah, but from
now.
Kwana
Give
Miti,
you guys a little break from the tour.
I never tell a story.
I'm gonna give you a break from the tour. Take my advice. Use the restroom. Get yourself a drink at the bar because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Get a snack or a bottle of water, and I will see you all. I will see all of you at the Statue of Liberty. Thank you for joining us and welcome to New York.
Yeah, me near baby there.
Applause, applause, applause. The 12 of you that clap, thank you so
Mrs.
much.
Tabiade. Nani. Why enjoy? Why enjoy? America be there. So let us say Canada. When we say Canada, we then I'm one year. Then I'm 1 year. Huh? Oh, Casa. Sorry, Casa. Oh, I tell for. What's it? I say I didn't say. I need a cash America beer. I'm going to go America beer there. Canada beer there. Canada beer there. Rather than a bomb. Nanny, Yamislam. You need a baba copy. What's the papa started so cassette and I'm training in the idea. I'm my idea. What's my idea? From beginning now. Debbie, they tried my post. From beginning, papa started and I'm training in the idea. Many editing, yeah. Many editing, yes, and then you will make it. Say now, you're no cranny, you'll be fair. Say now, you're no cranny, you'll be fair.
Stay where you are. Do not move forward. If you're standing in the open sky area, you are in the best place on the entire boat to see the Statue of Liberty. If you're under here where I am, you are in the worst place on the entire boat. Stay, you guys are fine on the edges. Stay under the sky. Shh. Her feet, both of her feet are 13 feet long. She wears chains around her ankles that represent freedom from bondage. From the bottom of her foot to the very tip of her golden flame, she stands 305 feet and a half inch. She wears a crown on her head. The crown has 7 points. The 7 points represent the 7 continents of the world. She's made of copper. There's no paint on her. The weather conditions have turned her into her beautiful green patina color. From the bottom of her foot to the very tip of her golden flame, 305 feet and a half inch. Look at what she holds in her left hand.
I'm scared. Gosh. Abroche nani. Every 1 minute to be a what you say. Oh,
Would you like pictures?
well, that's a very useful. That's the
More together, Times Square.
yeah.
I haven't got that out.
Eh? That's it. America be there. Times Square be there. What you say? Every 1 minute to be answering any pay trip, lights is switch. I'm able for God is secret. What the master says is Saka cry. The man say, "You have a shiny jacket." Times Square, yeah.
Metie me nyam Ghana for metie mini wo kase mortgage anka e was say and take me 25 years infantian se sia mini 2 years and e di tua ye wow nim say how difficult your bible tria ye tofia it take you so long to pay off our mortgages but by the grace of God online business here me hu ye 2.5 years ago assistant ma brabo and assistant kofo be brains wa brabo just say se sia mini wo kase metumi save for me kwale university education say ye be ye hu nya say omunkofa any student loans bia enfan ko start your ma brabo so we nurse we doctor we uber driver we betumi your business na e bua kofo be brain e hu nya say wo any kind of technical background here because the member was step by step training so me na me your mentor you coach and to reach out to me oh me phone number was screen so no take a screenshot but send me a message or WhatsApp and to make sure say who be your business no say you be 2-3 jobs na we any multiple shifts no we betumi cut it down on it so they be able to spend the quality time anyone quality na hu here and me make your strategy you about take action bye bye
Limbs Makola, everything you want.
Kedi ko ka kai do America ye begin na me fast bag ni kwa unko Ghana di ban ba ye no anyi sardine na de.
Come on, we ehun here say we me ko bi. Say limbs at Roma. We duru ho a Ghana dwani bia o bi wo ho. Enu so we call limbs Makola. We duru ho a bi bia o ye bia e wo ho. Ah what say we ni ko bi.
Ah say ko e be ka ban ku bia.
Oh, enu so we call limbs Makola. Ghana ye bia o bi.
No no say what fa. Limbs was the Ghana aqua America.
Aso the Americans so ba Ghana. E say what e bi. We here so be say nema abrocho ho nema dia ba enu so be duru na limbs I ni ready wo hard da.
Very interesting. And your food items no crown.
Limbs ewo African restaurant so. Yes, several Ghana aduane baby. In fact, aduane tesia is very nice. It is very sweet and palatable. Please, you can't resist. What a food.
So here ka be a de wakoma so ewa America. Ofre ania. You better near Shepudia. And I say one kasa wato na person de Bagana. Baby will be able to up to Kano about ship for the amount. And this spare pass one. Okay, the Limbs Market. We are ready to supply.
Limbs Makola International Market, Hagerstown, Maryland.